of the Truth in America. Great to have you with us today on this Monday, February 23rd. Let's rock and roll. Biggest news. I know there's tariffs and all that stuff, right? We got a lot of national news going on, but let's start with the men's and women's hockey team winning the Gold Cup. The men's team in overtime beating Canada in an absolute thriller. Outgunned, outmanned, and boy, the celebration at the end, the pride in our country by these hockey players. You want to know why I'm a hockey fan. You want to know why I love the NHL. And you want to know why I spend my non-baseball nights watching hockey. This is it, right there. You saw it. And, even from the Canadians, I mean, they represented their country like, Sidney Crosby, famous Penguin. I mean, they represented their country as well. But what a great game that was. I watched it at the airport coming back from Lafayette, Louisiana. Had it on TV. And then, of course, I was in the plane there at the end, so I had it on my phone. But it was an unbelievable ending, an unbelievable goal. 2 minutes into overtime, kaboom! And then the celebration. So let's just take a moment, because we got a lot to cover today, and there's a lot going on, and not of it all positive, right? But let's just take a moment and revel and rejoice. And almost like when you go to church, let's just take a moment out of our busy lives and let's just talk to the Savior. Let's just pray to God. Let's just have a conversation, right? Because what God wants is a relationship, right? That's the whole thing he wants. And he wants to know that, you love him and he can love you back, right? So that's what the whole thing is, in my judgment, according to the Bible, right? So he is risen. But that celebration, and when they brought out the kids of the guy that their compatriot that got killed in a motorcycle accident was his brother, and they brought the kids out. I mean, tearjerker city. I mean, it was just pride, and it is that those kids, men, they're professional hockey players. These are not college kids anymore, like back in 1980 with the Miracle on Ice. I mean, these are professional ball players, hockey players. But just the pride in their country, you have to feel good about it. And, leading into 250th anniversary and all the good stuff that we know is going to happen. And those of us that tune me in that love this country, love what we stand for. I mean, I was a child. My father was a blue collar worker, had a high school education. And I remember him telling me, we live in a special country created by God for freedom, in between these two great oceans where nobody can come. And everybody else has got all these problems and kings and dictators and wars. And, we have this wonderful free republic that God put all these wonderful, brilliant men together all at the same time, at the same place in Philadelphia in 1776. He put them all together, and we created this bastion of God's freedom on earth. And I mean, that's what I was taught when I was 7 or 6. That's what my father taught me, right? So I was a child. So, you grow up with that, respecting the country. And but I had somebody close to me the other day. I talk about pride. I had somebody close to me the other day saying, when it's all said and done, I want to be a DC cop. And then I want to be a detective. And at the end of the day, I want to do good in the world. I want to do good. I want to do good for my city. I want to do good for my country. I want to do good. And that's the way. There's so many people out there serving our country, et cetera. They just want to do good. These hockey players are unbelievable. I got to get to cut one, the celebration. And guys have got plenty of time for politics. Enjoy it. Cut one, roll it.
Special, and I want to thank our troops for allowing us to play this game. Thank our troops for allowing us to play this game, and thank all the support back home. But
just an unbelievable scene there, and what a great victory. And anybody that saw it, you're welcome to call in, because look, we got a lot to talk about today, but that to me was just one of those things where you just wow. I mean, absolute 100% wow. This is really what we're talking about in America. So, okay, let's get to let's get to some of the nonsense that went on Friday, shall we? You guys ready for that? You guys ready to go? Right? So 6 Supreme Court justices tried to kill Trump's tariffs. John Roberts, as usual, blinked. Trump didn't. 45 minutes after the ruling, 45 minutes after the ruling, the President of the United States walked to the podium in the briefing room, called it a disgrace, praised the 3 justices who had the guts to stand with America, and signed a brand new round of tariffs, 15% global, done in your friggin' face. And you know what? You can take those refunds and shove it up your ass. We ain't giving back a dime of this money. Not a dime. Tie this thing up in court for the next 20 years. We got unlimited resources and lawyers. They get paid anyway. Tie them up. You're not getting a dime. This is unbelievable. You think these companies that sued us are going to get money back? Are they going to give it back to the consumer? Here's what Trump should do with this, whatever the number is, 100 billion. Give it to the people. Anybody making under 100,000, divide it up, send them a check. Done. Sorry, I spent the money. I gave it to the people. I gave it to working people in this country, not these elites and Wall Street. You know, this whole suit was brought by the Wall Street gangster banksters. This is who brought the suit, folks. This, again, because they can't ship their crap jobs and pay slave wages out of the country. They have to pay a decent living wage. So they sue the government over these tariffs. Unfriggin' believable. You know, they threw their best shot, and as far as I'm concerned, Trump came back stronger. $901 billion trade deficit. 50 years of feckless Wall Street gangster politicians selling out the American worker. 50 years. And 6 robed elitists just sided with the globalist and Wall Street on a technicality. What a bunch of cowards. This country is run by cowards except Trump and a couple people in Congress. You could say, folks, just take it to Congress. Because basically what Roberts' court said is, this is a tax, which it's not. This is a tax, therefore it's got to go through Congress. Fine, take it to Congress like today. But he can't do it because they won't pass it. So the celebration of the Democrats screwing their own workers was short-lived. You know, you can't stop a fighter who refuses to go down. You simply can't. Because I gotta tell you, we're just getting started, folks. We are just getting started. And you think we're screwing around here? Okay? I mean, in that briefing room, Trump was defiant. That was the key to me. I mean, he came out there in 45 minutes. 6 robed elitists just tried to kneecap the one president in 50 years who actually fought for American workers. And the Democrats they were popping champagne. Trump got a defeat. Screw the workers. Screw affordability. Screw better jobs. Trump had a defeat. They were popping the champagne. It was gross what they did in the first half hour. I'm White House correspondent. I go to these briefings. Trump fired back. I watched the President of the United States get hit with a 6-3 ruling and respond in real time without flinching. Not what, what? What just happened, okay? What just happened is Wall Street wins again at the expense of middle America, Main Street, and the U.S. worker. They win again. The gangster banksters win again. America has been getting ripped off on trade for 50 years. Nobody did a damn thing. They talked about it. They didn't do a damn thing. They're all afraid of the tycoons there in Lower Manhattan. Nobody said a word. 900 billion trade deficit, factories shuttered, jobs gone. We didn't have steel. We didn't have aluminum. We didn't have dairy. We didn't have lumber. We didn't have furniture. All textiles, all gone. Cities and towns wiped out. Became ghost towns of poverty. And then when we had the crisis, which Wall Street created, who got the money? Who got bailed out? Did you get a dime? Listen to me now. Did you get a cup of coffee? No, but they did. Too big to fail. Let's all bail them out. Then let's go to Carmel and have a sales meeting and stay in a luxury hotel with our money while I'm living in a car. I'm so sick of this. Roberts. This guy, I can't stand this guy. The man who thanked Trump at the State of the Union last year for the immunity ruling just stabbed him in the back with the same major questions doctrine he used to kill everything. Right? Now, they can slow President Trump down. They can't stop him. American workers have been waiting 50 years for a president that is willing to fight. 45 minutes later, he's out there. He's out there kicking ass. Right? Just kicking butt. And then here's the facts that that the mainstream media is never going to tell you, right? As they're chortling about this great victory. It's baloney, right? Here's what they're never going to tell you. America ran a $901 billion trade deficit in 2025. While Washington politicians gave speeches about the middle class, foreign nations were taking advantage of us right and left. China cheated. The EU subsidized. Everybody benefited except the American worker. We got nothing. We got jack crap. Trump was the first president in 50 years to reverse it. Then 6 justices decided the word regulate in a 1977 law doesn't include tariffs. Alito, Thomas, and Kavanaugh stood firm. Thank you. The hypocrisy here is breathtaking. The selective application of judicial principle is a disgrace. And Trump said it. It's a disgrace. But here's what separates Trump. He's doing something. 45 minutes he signed new tariffs. Done. Let that sink in. So he went from 10% to 8%. Whoop-de-doo deal. He just signed it under a different law they can't do anything about it. It was averaging 3% when he first came in 2025. Now it's at 8.5%. We've been waiting 50 years for a president with a spine to stand in the gap against the globalists, the elites, and the Wall Street gangster bankers. We finally got one, and the so-called conservative court stripped them on a technicality. But then he went back in 45 minutes, and he shoved it up their butt. And then slammed the door. Now, I don't care what his approval ratings are. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what his approval ratings are. Oh, he's negative at 60%. It's this, that, Washington Post poll. He sucks to 20%. Going into the speech on Tuesday night, he's the lowest rated president in history. Everybody hates him. Who hates him? American workers who got better jobs? The middle class who's now seeing the benefit of the one big beautiful bill with all these refunds? Waiters? Construction workers? Builders? Houses are coming back? Who is it that hates him? What? Blue-haired freaks and libtards? White women with no husbands? Going around with masks? Is that who hates him? LGBTQIJKTSBSRY squirrel? Rabbit? Cat? Furry? Is that what hates him? If you got a job, the hell you hate him for? He's trying to protect your job. He's trying to save the country every day. Get these illegals out. So since he's got them out, guess what? Rents are down. Cost of housing down $15,000 in the last 6 months. Why? Demand is down because he's getting rid of the illegals who are, because the governments and NGOs were subsidizing rents. It's like the greatest president ever. And his disapproval is at 60%. It's because the fake news won't stop. It is relentless. And it's like, oh, you got to retire. Really? And do what? Watch the country go to crap where I got kids and a family? I don't think so. No, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm healthy as an ox. I take a plethora of vitamins and supplements. I do 75 push-ups a day, except on Saturday and Friday. I don't do it Friday either. So, truth be told, 5 out of the 7 days. We got to fight. This I don't know. I can't think of a time. And I was going to Lafayette, Louisiana to see my son's Maryland team play baseball. It was a tough weekend. Joe did great, but it was a tough weekend. We got swept. We lost 2 games in walk-offs, blew a lead in the 9th inning on Friday. Joe was not part of that. Almost got run ruled on Saturday. Then we come back, 15 innings, 16 innings or something, lose the Sunday game, guys on base every inning, bases loaded, 1 out, guy on third, 1 out, could not get him in to save our life, and they get a 2-out hit and win the game in the bottom of the 15th or 16th or something. So it was a tough. You get swept by a mid-major, and you're a Big Ten team. It's not good. I just telling you, it's not good. So, we got to pick up, pick them up. Joe is not part of either loss. We got to pick him up. He pitched Saturday, pitched great. You got to pick him up and go to Delaware tomorrow. If they don't call the game because of the snow, go beat them and then go on from there. But it was tough 3 days there for Maryland. No doubt about it. They should have won 2 out of 3. No question about it. Blue leads in all 3 games. And I know what you're thinking. They should have brought Joe in. Right-handed batters were coming up. He faces lefties. That's his role. But both times when they had, the game-winning hits, it was right-handed batters up. So, I get it. They brought in the good righties. The same thing I would have done. So I get it. But, that's just baseball. It's tough. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. You want to weigh in? But I just want you to think about this. We got to lace them up and lace them tight. I was never more proud of my president than on Friday when he went into that briefing room and told him to stick it. And he was visibly upset. And that's okay. You can get upset. There's nothing wrong with that. He was visibly upset about the ruling. But they had a plan. They had the plan B. And they hit that lever in 45 freaking minutes. I know the poll numbers. I know what they show. I know everybody thinks the Democrats are going to sweep the midterms. I get it. I hear it constantly. We all hear it. I'm not buying it today, folks. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. We're going to turn this thing around. I want the Trump that was in that briefing room on Friday telling everybody to shove it up their butt. Now, you don't like it and you want to vote for the libtards that have destroyed the country. I really can't save you. I just think there's enough people who are going to be like, yeah, I had enough. All right, hold the music a minute. We'll get to Becky in Indiana, line 1. Becky, you're live. Go ahead.
Good morning, John. How are you? And I just want to tell you that I agree with everything that you're saying, and I have a question for you. Last week, this is a preempt to that. Last week, I ran into somebody who's suffering from Bell's palsy, and they had no idea that it could have been a result of the COVID shot from years ago. So we're out 6 years from that, and there are people still not realizing these things. With that said, do you ever see a situation where President Trump will come out and address the American people to explain what the country is currently under the attack from communist Marxists? Because I have a feeling that there's a lot of us out there that have been watching you, and we know what's going on, but there's a lot of people out there that don't know what's going on. Do you ever see him addressing that?
Privately, yes. Publicly, no.
Okay.
I mean, what we have to deal the reality of the political climate now is you're going into the midterms, Becky, and you're struggling to win these races, and his negative approval rating, according to the libtard Washington Post, is minus, is 60% negative. So everybody hates him, right? Why we don't know. And do I believe the poll? No. But I also don't think that it's like, he doesn't have 60% approval rating either, right? So, they have to look, like any political office, Becky, they have to look at their own internal polling information. And although people like me say communist all the time, it doesn't resonate because the average person doesn't know what it is. And they think it's just, you're just throwing something out there. So the president, what he did Friday is what I need more of. I mean, I know we all know we're under Marxist communist attack, right? But we need more of what we got.
Right.
We need more of in your face, defiant. People want a fighter. I mean, you look at the polling numbers, and even the Washington Post said this in their libtard poll. They said the problem with the Democrats is nobody supports them either because they have no solutions. I mean, Mandami was going to give everything away for free, and now the city is bankrupt 2 months in. I mean, he's like begging Hochul for money. And he's going to raise taxes and seize property just like they're doing in California. This eventually blows up in their face. So
the frightening thing from where I'm sitting is, like with this snowstorm, for example, Mondami all of a sudden is hiring emergency snow shovelers, and you have to have forms of ID to do it. And then you and I followed similar paths. I'm from New Jersey. I'm watching the twisted sister of Abigail Spanberger, i.e. Mikey Sherrill, in New Jersey, calling to shut the state down. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're everywhere. It's bizarre. And it's
Abigail Spanberger. Where do you guys come up with?
Well, they are.
The twisted sister.
Well, have you ever seen them together? It's like, oh my gosh.
Twisted sister. Oh God, that's funny.
But yeah, so they've got all this going on in New York, hiring emergency snow shovelers. You have to sign up with 2 forms of ID, and one has to be a photo ID. And then people were ticked off because he declared that no one is to be outside. And all of a sudden, it brought back reminiscent of COVID. Don't go outside. We're going to turn you in.
Yeah.
So there's little inklings of people that normally wouldn't wake up are waking up, and especially New Yorkers, because now they're being slapped in the face with this, which they should be. but it's just there are still some people that are lagging behind as to what's going on, and this is reaching critical mass really quick.
I don't disagree with you. What communists and whatever you want to call them, what communists want to do is tell you what to do. I mean, that's why they're there. They want to dictate everything. They want to tell you what to do. So he's telling you to stay inside. But I'm going to stay inside. I don't feel like going outside and playing in the snow. I'm going to go outside. And as far as the snow shovelers, I mean, New York City's been doing that forever, right? I mean, it's not a bad policy. It's like, hey, we've got money we set aside for this, and if you want to come and help shovel snow, we'll pay you whatever the wages are. But when you ask for 2 forms of ID and you're advocating voting with nothing, I mean, you just show up and vote. You don't have to add any ID, nothing, zero. You don't have to be a citizen. You just show up and vote. It becomes the hypocrisy and insanity of it gets in your face. I mean, if you're in New York City, basically a squirrel could go in there with an acorn and vote, right? So, but you got to have 2 forms of ID in order to get paid for shoveling snow and sign up. I mean, it's not a bad plan. New York's been doing that for forever. I think it was Ed Koch.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, Koch
I wasn't aware of that. But John, don't quit. Don't quit. We need you out there, John. Don't quit. Don't quit.
Thank you. I just, Friday was a gut punch. But then, immediately they're back at it. Like immediately. Like, I mean,
Yep.
I didn't like the, unconditional withdrawal from Minneapolis, but I understand it. I mean, they could not have this negative fake news go on. They just had to get out of there. I get it. I didn't like it, but I get it. I'm an adult. I mean, I get the reality of politics, but the Supreme Court thing was just a joke. I mean, it's just a joke. And now they're, and now, but here's what they did. They gave no indication of whether or not to give that money back. And I love what Trump said on Friday. He said, guess what? We'll tie this up in court for the next 10 years, right? I think what he should do.
Yep.
I think he should go to Congress tomorrow and say, hey, we got this money. And so I want to appropriate it to the American people. We got $200 billion. We've got this many people. Got to be a taxpayer. This many people who pay taxes, no earned income tax credit, earned income under $100,000 family income. We're going to divide it out and mail them a check. Instead of giving it back to Wall Street. That's your message at the State of the Union. I'm going to give back to the people, working people, their money. It's not banksters' money. That's what he should do. That's what he should do tomorrow night, right? And then say,
Totally agree.
sue me, Wall Street, until you turn blue, because you ain't getting a dime of this money. I'm giving it to the people. Go sue them. When it's all said and done, go sue the American worker. That's what he should do. I'm defiant today. Can you feel it?
Keep slogging, John. Keep slogging.
Did somebody say Indiana? Thanks, Becky. Let's get let's get to a quick word from our vaulted and loved sponsors, of which I would not be here, and I will be back momentarily. Keep it right here.